Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, this Thursday, 6th of the 7th. And I want to thank those who are joining me also from TikTok and those on Facebook as well. And eventually, yes, I'll touch on to a bit of Instagram as well. Hope you have a good evening. Hope you have a good day. I would say that my morning was very inspirational. I would say, as most time my morning inspirational because I always try to find some reason to boost my day, as we say, boost mode. You know, and the whole aspect of boost mode is whereby you challenge your morning. And the topic this morning, which I was talking about, was it was in the morning when you get up, and in the morning when you get ready to go out there. One of the things that I always say in the morning when I'm out, and I'm going to say it again, the first thing that I see in the mornings are simply how beautiful it is. Yeah, simply how beautiful it is. And I will always say it is beautiful. And I'll always say that it is lovely. And I always say positive things as much as possible. Very positive things. And I'm sure everybody will agree with that. And when you keep saying positive things, and because when you look, you see the birds, you hear the birds singing, you see some dogs, you see some people walking their dogs. And I tell you what, there's a nice freshness in the morning. It is so fresh, so clean, and especially after even a night of rain or so, it is so very lovely. And then I was speaking to someone, I was talking about depressions, and we're speaking about anxiety and speaking about stress. And you realize that somehow the attributes and the characteristics of these things will always reach to you no matter what. Yeah, they'll always reach to you. But one of the things that happen is that when you give yourself over to all these positive attributes, then what is going to happen? Then definitely you're going to feel. Gary, how are you?
Not bad, not bad.
So like you're in a chair a while ago, like one of those grandpa chairs.
no, no. I haven't got one of those chairs as yet. Not yet.
Okay, I guess you're saying you're not a grandpa.
Well, we do have our first grandchild, but I haven't got the chair to what the status is at the moment.
Okay. Well, well, as somebody say, Ruan Borland said, "Praise God." I'll just repeat what he said in TikTok. Praise God. I was starting my show today, and I was talking about the powerful attributes of in the morning when you get up and you go outside. It is like when Jesus went into the gardens to pray, and it's like you're charging up yourself with positive attributes, charging up yourself with words, speaking words over your life. You see the birds, you listen to the birds and how sweet they sing. You see the dogs, they wag their tail because they realize you're not a threat to them. You say good morning to people, and you look at the trees and the blue and the shrubs, and there's a nice smell. And then during the course of a day, things are going to happen. You might get attacked, your work might be pressured. The attributes of stress, the attributes of anxiety, and the attributes of depression will reach you. But then because you're so pumped up and charged up with all these positive things earlier, you're ready to take them on. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that you're not going to get them, but you're ready to take them on and you're full of it. What do you say about that? And you prayed up as well. Starts in the mornings. I was just saying my morning was great, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, as you were talking, um, what came into my thoughts was in the morning when you wake, if you wake early, you're getting the freshness of the day, you're getting the fresh breeze, and everything is new. And then as the day wears on, then the air becomes a little bit more foul, and
Mm.
the the brilliance of creation begins to get dull because obviously everything gets old. You
Yeah.
understand? Everything coming is losing its shine. And it just goes to show again the handiwork of God,
Mm.
you know, and how he put things together for man, you know. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And how's your day otherwise? How's the week so far? The end of the week, as we say.
The day or the week
Yeah.
has been good. I mean, when I think about blessings, I think that I have received and which we have received in that each day, as you know, I do a little podcast, as they would say, even though the podcast lasts for a good 50 minutes to 60 minutes at times. I'm trying my best to cut it down, but sometimes when you get inspired,
You just keep
time
going.
flies. Yeah. But I do say that you know, each day is a blessing in that I don't know what's going on inside. I haven't been to the doctors. I'm not in any medication. I haven't been told that there's anything wrong with me as yet. I don't feel any pain or any discomfort going on.
Mm.
So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful. And every day is a new day, which I it is unfair to to compare yesterday with no today with yesterday or
Yes.
even the day before yesterday because it's a new day, it's a different day. And
Yes.
even though we have Mondays, all of us that's alive and that's viewing this program today, we've always seen a Thursday. Every
Yes.
7 or so days we see a Thursday, but each of the Thursdays that we meet is never the same. There's
Yes.
always something different about the Thursday when we approach it and when we are in the throes of that day.
Mm.
So
Mm.
we ought to be grateful really because there are many in our world and many in our country that do not have what we have: roof over our heads, a bed to sleep, table to sit around, knife and fork, and a drink to eat. You know,
And they
listen to
and they and
well,
they did not and they did not see this Thursday as well.
and there are many who have not seen this Thursday at all. They were with us yesterday. Yeah, some
Mm.
of them more or less probably were very well. I
Yeah.
mean, that is the frightening thing about it, you know, Sil,
Yeah.
because many people who died today, yesterday, they never felt ill at all. We just
Yeah.
don't hear about these instances. We don't know of anybody that was well yesterday. They got up the day, they dressed themselves, they had something to eat, they met with friends, they did a good day's
Mm.
work,
Mm.
and they went home Wednesday evening, had dinner, went to bed, but they never woke up.
Yeah.
They never woke up, you know, but we don't hear of these individuals. And that is why I think that we need to be grateful, really, so that when we have reached or gone through a whole day, we've rested and we wake up the following day, we ought to be
Mm.
grateful. We ought to be grateful.
Definitely, and even so, one of the first topics that I wanted to touch on was around this little girl, Wimbledon school crash, where this girl died. When Wimbledon school crash, girl 8 dies after car hits a building, and that was really sad. Just like what you said a while ago, you you can imagine the family ready to get together also, and waboom, and what it says that an 8-year-old girl has died after a car crashed into a primary school in Wimbledon, southwest London. Paramedics treated the 16 people for injuries after the Land Rover crashed into the study preparatory school in Camp Road about 10 o'clock this morning. And the
Yeah,
driver, a woman
yeah.
in her 40s, um, um, has been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. And of course, they said it has nothing to do with terrorism or so. But it is a point you just raised a while ago that we we cannot foretell the future, as to what's going to happen, and this is a classic case for argument's sake, you know,
Mhm.
as I'll put it up there, the Wimbledon school crash, girl 8 dies after car hits building. I don't know if you had heard about that today or so, you know.
No, I didn't hear about it at all. I
Mm,
didn't hear about this crash at all. But you see, there are things that do happen that we have no control over. You
yes,
know, um, I mean, let us say I'm not trying to make excuses for that lady that they've said they've arrested. That's about 40 years old, but
yeah,
I don't think. Well, probably she didn't have it in her mind at all. I don't know what the circumstances are. I don't know if
mm,
she's not well. I don't know, but when we wake up to travel to go wherever we're going, the
yeah,
majority of us do not leave a home um, to be in an accident and for
yes,
anybody really to be killed or to be damaged or permanently, um, you know, damaged. I mean, it's just sad, and we just have to, just give God thanks that it wasn't
yeah,
us. It's that we must just pray for others, and
yes,
you know, uh, I
yeah,
feel sorry for that young lady. I feel sorry for that young lady of 40, but
yes,
at the same time, I feel sorry for the family that has lost an
yes,
8-year-old. You
yeah.
know,
There's a news conference also, and the detective, she also um you know really broke down when she was saying it, and I'll just play it a bit there just for a second, and
Very
there you go.
sadly, one of the children, an 8-year-old girl, died at the scene. Our thoughts are with her family at this incredibly difficult time. The driver of a car, a woman aged in her 40s, stopped at the scene and has since been arrested for causing death by dangerous driving and remains in police custody. This is a very difficult time for everyone here at the school and across the wider community. We would ask people not to speculate while we work to understand the full circumstances of what has happened during this tragic incident. But I will say we are not treating this as a terrorist incident. Our officers have already spoken to a number of witnesses and have viewed the CCTV. If anyone has any information, please either call 101 or speak with officers at the scene. Any information that can assist as we try to work out what's happened today.
Yep. So there we are, and I know for one of the things though is that like schools, even my children's school or my daughter's school now, when you go there, you have people sometimes rushing. I'm not saying I don't know the case of this, and it's as someone said, it's difficult to even discuss while they're having the discussions and these investigations. London Air Ambulance arrived on the scene. From what we can assume, it was very serious. Uh, but the teachers always say, and the headmistress always say, people should careful how they're driving. People are rushing sometimes to drop their kids off. You know, and I believe there's going to be strictness on that. And I can just imagine even tomorrow there's going to be strictness on that, because sometimes people are just rushing to drop their children off just so they can go to work, and they park at places where they shouldn't park. But this is very sad. As
yeah, it is very sad. It is
mm,
extremely sad, and we just have to. I think you see, hmm, it's sad how things have gone. Not only for in this instance, but
mm,
generally speaking, because this young lady now, I say young because 40
mhm.
years old is still quite young. You still have
Yeah,
life ahead of you. But not knowing the circumstance, not knowing. But you see, I feel
Yeah.
sorry for her because it may have been something that she just did not mean at
Mm.
all. And the way how, again, it's been
Yeah.
televised, the police have had to give a statement. Her life is finished.
Yeah.
Sadly, I mean, she's been arrested, on the investigation and all of this. And
Yeah.
life,
I,
life
yeah.
really, again,
Yeah.
I don't
Well, then,
know.
somebody was saying it was the middle of the afternoon. Actually, it was 10 o'clock according to the news report as well. Anyway, sorry about that, and our my condolences to the family as well. At this
Yes.
time, there's all over the place and stuff like that. But anyway, moving on, Gary, there was, I don't know if you've been following this Stephen Lawrence bit there where the mother says she's bitterly disappointed that the cops who were involved in the initial bit, who made a bundle of everything, they said the mother of Stephen Lawrence says she's bitterly disappointed that four retired detectives who ran a failed investigation into her son's murder will not face criminal charges. What criminal charge would they be um, having, Gary?
Listen, again,
Mm, mm,
should she be surprised?
yeah.
Really, should she be surprised when you look at other investigations that has happened
Mm,
in the recent past, even
yes.
after Stephen Lawrence,
Yeah.
that police officers have been let off. I mean,
Yes.
let me go so far as to say this, yeah, that
Mm,
I'm quite certain that even the one and two police officers that has raped women and or even murdered them, taken their lives,
yes. Mm,
um, if that wasn't brought to the fore, I wouldn't be surprised if
yeah.
they themselves would have been prosecuted and imprisoned. That, to me, that is how corrupt the police agency is.
Mm.
So for four, listen, they know what they were going to do.
You
I
mean the
mean, this is
cops?
not yeah, yeah, the Crown Prosecution Service. This
Yeah.
thing has not popped up in the last 2 days or 4 days or week or month. I wouldn't even say it's popped up in the last year.
Yeah. Go what
It,
you say. Yeah, go on, Gary. Yes, please go on. Yeah.
no, go ahead. You go ahead. You go
No,
ahead.
I'm just relating what Baroness Doreen Lawrence said. The mother of Steve said her hope has been in vain, and the CPS announcement was a disgrace. And you just said a while ago that these guys know about this, but it is finally there. The push has come where they have to disclose it. She said she would now seek a review of the CPS decision. As we know, Steve was 18 when he was killed in a racist attack in South London in 1993. Even you know, Dwayne Brooks have been kept saying all the while in the bundle, saying that there were more people there. The initial police investigation failed to bring anyone to justice. Two of the murderers were eventually jailed in 2012. And Barnes Lawrence said not a single police officer has been disciplined or will be charged over the investigation, adding, in my opinion, the police have yet again got away scot free. After 30 years, in which there have been countless police investigations, a police complaint, and a public inquiry, I thought there might be some hope of holding these police officers who failed me and my son to account. You know?
I mean, look at this. Look at I mean, all right. Even in the article, it said announcing its decision, the Crown Prosecution Service said it understood it may be deeply disappointing to Stephen's family.
Mm.
Now they knew it. They knew it's going to be disappointing, but
Mm.
they made the decision anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, look when was it? Is it 4 boys, 4 or 5 chaps
Five.
that were accused? 5.
Yeah.
Yes. Look how
Dwayne
long
always
it took.
Dwayne always says 5, and they always say 4 until that one they mentioned a couple weeks ago or last week where they said he died. You know, that fifth person
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Now, now, look how long it took to bring them to justice.
Yes.
Um, and even then, it was a fight. It was a
Yes.
fight to imprison them. All right.
Mm.
Now, the police officers. Well, listen. I mean, I think we've got to come to the conclusion, my friend, that we will never, and
Say what you're saying. We'll never what?
we may never get proper justice in this country over any matter.
So okay, so you're moving away from the Stephen. You're using the Stephen Lawrence case or injustice as a replica or what you believe is going to be happening until what, or it will always be there. You
It's
say
going to
we'll
be
never.
there.
We'll never.
Okay, broaden the scope a bit. Remember a few months ago when, and I've seen it again
Yeah.
on Facebook, when that young girl was
Yes.
beaten up.
I don't even know what the outcome of that is. Yeah.
Exactly. What is the outcome of that? Has
Yes.
anybody heard anything? Has anybody been brought to justice?
Yes.
You know, I mean, they're ready. They are ready to prosecute black boys. You know, if they think they've got a gun in the car, they're ready
Yes.
to shoot them. You know, they're ready to arrest young black boys just walking down the road. They look suspicious,
Yes.
so they're ready to handcuff them, to beat them up, to take them into the
Mm.
jailhouse or wherever they want to put them. But when it comes to a young black girl, it could have been a boy, but I'm just saying this because it was a girl,
Yeah.
where a mother and her daughter or daughters
Mm.
march down to the school. The mother fights the young girl, you know, there's a
And,
fight, and
and
the
encourage you
daughters
to.
kick
Yeah.
and
But
encourage
yeah.
her daughter or daughters and other girls to do what they did. And
Yeah.
then after that, nothing else is said. There's nothing said.
Mm. Well, somebody said that someone on TikTok saying that prison. I'm gonna ask person to Rowan to elaborate on that. Did they go to prison? I understand in a way that social service was involved in many respect of them, whereby children were removed. That's what I understand. As for the mother, I don't know, but if someone can shed some light on that as to what happened, hasty no
The-
violence, not understand what that is as well.
yeah,
Mm.
but listen, look at what they do. Not so much listen, look what they do. They've swept that under the carpet because nothing else more is said about it. Nothing is said.
Yes.
Nothing is said. Now, we only hear about it when, because you and I talk about it
Yes.
and we mention in programs like
Mm.
this.
Mm.
But but when it happened, it was in the news, wasn't it? It was in the
Yeah,
papers,
yeah,
wasn't it?
it was very pronounced and it was very involved and people would not let it drop. And I believe because people kept at it, the community kept at it, then they had to broadcast it for the sake of appeasing. I sense it was a more of appeasing. That's why they actually covered it. But eventually, of course, because there is no sort of majorly interest in cases of this nature, it just died a natural death, you know. And that is what happens when, well, in a way, as I always say, who run the news, it's not sensational news to the mainstream here. It's sensational news when it becomes a bit more pronounced and they have to say something. especially when they come on to Black History Month, when they come on to the Windrush thing. So they bring these things in the fore to somewhat say they are saying something. But as I said, and as you have said, I do not know what the outcome is of this little girl that was beaten up, and what was the outcome of that. It'd be great to know. And you're right, it'd be great to know about that as well.
They're hoping, I'm sure they hoped that that Stephen Lawrence's mother wouldn't say anything. They are hoping that it will just go by the way of other news items, just disappear in the woodwork, and nothing else more is said. That
Garry,
is what they are.
yeah. Garry, I do believe that the reason why they made Stephen Lawrence a Barnes mother, a Barnes, was to keep her quiet. You know what I mean? They sometimes do that to keep people quiet, Garry, but it
They
does not
do.
work.
I was going to say that. I was going to
Yeah.
say that earlier on. That especially now, I do congratulate my colleagues and friends. I do have a few friends, one and two, that have been given MBEs and OBEs.
Mm,
And because yes, they have contributed. They
yeah.
have contributed to society and to the community in which they are in. And
Yes.
great. But what was the name of the he was a poet, wasn't he? That was offered one.
Benjamin Zephaniah, who turned it down. Yes.
Congratulate him,
Yes.
because more ways than one, these people give these people accolades so as
Mm,
to keep them quiet, or not
yes.
for them to be as vocal as they were or as they are. And I believe, my friends, that it's up to these individuals
Mm,
to even be more active and to even speak out the more, so that they can um, communicate the
yes.
injustices that is happening in
Mm,
whatever culture. Well, we're talking about the black community now. You know, it could be amongst the Asians, it could be amongst the Indians and such.
mm,
But we just need. I think we just need more activists, not for themselves, and not to speak just for themselves, but to speak on behalf of those individuals that are not being heard.
are you implying that in the UK now there are not strong voices that are active in speaking up on injustice, but they have become a bit marred or influenced?
Well, I think in various areas of this country,
Yes.
such as London or Birmingham or Bristol or Leeds, Nottingham, Bradford, in these
Yes.
particular cities, there may be people or
Yes.
persons
Yes.
who are very vocal. One of them, if you don't mind me mentioning, and I think it'd be a good thing at some point. I'm not going to tell you when you should get him on the
Yes.
program, but if you could, just to get him on, even if for 15, 20 minutes of a pro on in one of your programs. But I think if you should get someone like Desmond Jadu, MBE,
Yeah.
who done sterling work in
Mm,
Birmingham. In Birmingham, he has done well. He gets out there. He's in the community, and he speaks well. He gets in touch with people. People approach him. So he's an activist. I don't know if there are. Well, I know that there's such, or there may be a such individual in London or in
yeah.
Bristol or in Nottingham or in Leeds or Bradford or these
Mm,
areas where there's a high level concentration of you know of individuals, of communities where people are not being heard but are really in difficult situations.
Well, somebody on TikTok on Instagram just said sellout. A lot of them are sellout. Them are sellouts. You know what I'm trying to say? And
Again,
well,
again,
no,
Sylbourne, I would agree with that with your caller. There are many
yeah,
who do speak, but they're just speaking for themselves. Very
yeah,
rarely would you really find an individual who has a heartfelt
passion.
passion for the community. Very rare do you find these individuals because it's all
Mm,
about them. It's all about
mm,
them in front of the cameras. It's all about them
yes,
having, having the links,
mm.
shaking hands, rubbing elbows. And it shouldn't really be about that. It should be about the community. It should be
Well,
about the
and as you're right, there are two sides here. Someone says on TikTok, um, not enough people understand politics and economics, and you can explain that, Rowan. And Organic Jazz Records on Instagram said they should never accept the medals. You know, they should
again,
never
yes.
accept the medals. Mm.
Both comments, they have value.
Yes.
There is truth to both of these. I wouldn't say it is 100%, but there is some
Mm.
value to what is being said. Because again, there are some people, I wonder how they get it. I really wonder what is it that they've done to receive these medals, member of the British Empire and order of the British Empire and all of this. You really wonder what's going on because after they get it, you don't hear anything else. They
Yeah.
don't say nothing else as well because it's a reward and they put it on their mantelpiece or
Yeah.
they are invited to certain social activities, which of
Well,
course,
but someone just mentioned Lord Woolley and Lord Tony Sowell. Now, many people will have issues with Tony Sowell. He speaks up and he speak out, isn't it?
but
Lord
I don't
Tony.
know because I don't hear him. I don't hear him.
Well, he was the one that did that report saying the UK is not racist.
No, but
If you remember.
okay. But after that report, what else has come out? Because I
Yes,
even heard if it's
yes,
true that when he wrote the report and it was sent to 10 Downing Street, then they started to rewrite it.
yes,
So
and
what
and
the
and
sense of that?
yeah, yeah, and also someone mentioned Lord Woolley. Now I know Lord Woolley because he was my mentor when I did the Shadow MP scheme. He's now Lord Woolley, and he's also the principal of one of the colleges in Oxford as well. Lord Woolley, even though he's in the Lord, he still speak up and speak out on issues. And I wouldn't say that it has silenced his voice. I think he has made it clear, and that is based on his history in being an advocate for black empowerment in Parliament. I don't know if it has thwarted him, but I know he has become very busy dealing with Homerton as well. So I think I don't remember which college it is. Maybe I say Homerton a while. Maybe which college it is. Lord Sewell was in the House of Lords the other day speaking up for apprenticeship. So somebody say that there, Lord Sewell. So yeah. So
Listen,
yeah.
listen. As I said to you, I've said it to you off air and at times
Yeah.
when we do have a natter, Sil, there needs to be a voice in the United Kingdom or in
Mm,
England
yeah.
that catches the attention of the public, of the nation, but not only of the nation, of those in power.
Yes.
And it troubles and it gives a troubling effect to those who are in authority. Too
Yes.
many times we have individuals, they seem to have a voice, but they don't trouble anybody. They don't bring
They don't. They don't.
any.
They don't. They don't. They do not ruffle the upper crust, if
No, they
anything like that.
don't. They
They,
try to,
they play.
to,
They
to
play
toe
safe. You say they play
a line.
safe.
They try to toe a line that they are comfortable, and that the taskmasters also will tick off and say, okay, he's all right. He won't bring any problems. We need someone. We need an individual
To
in
bring
the
problem,
United.
to bring trouble them, trouble the water.
Well, I'm not even saying that they will that they're troublemakers. They may say he's a troublemaker, but he's
Because
one
yeah,
that will. It's like being the conscience of the nation.
yeah.
There needs to be one who is the conscience.
But but should such conscience have to be black?
I think again, it has to be an individual that can speak on behalf of the communities. Now it happens to be, and let's talk in reality. It
Yeah,
seems to me, and to a lot of us, that the black community in the United Kingdom seems to be the one that's having the brunt of injustice.
yes.
Now, I personally don't like the term BAME, yeah, because that lumps everybody into one pot. We're not everybody.
And I've
Yeah,
always said
the
that as
black
well. Totally agree with you. Yeah. Mm.
yes, the black community seems to be the community up and down this nation that gets the brunt of injustice.
Mm.
Now we need an individual. It doesn't have to be necessarily black, but it would help, because only the black man or woman can properly communicate what
The S.
people are carrying on their
Yeah.
backs.
Mm.
And they don't need to come from Oxford. They don't need to come from Cambridge. They don't need to come from any particular university. They just need to be able to be articulate
And have that
and
passion. And have that passion
and
as well.
and also knows how to behave, so that when those in authority sees the individual and hears the individual talk, that they're talking and that they're presenting an argument that nobody, not
Yeah.
even within the black community, can pull apart, but will only come in and support the individual. Because
Well,
far too long
yes.
have we, have
Well,
we just tear down each other. We
yes.
don't support each other. We do not rally behind each other. But
Mm.
as others have said, we're like crabs. Because every
Mm.
time a crab one seems to be getting out of the barrel, there's always another one
Yeah. Put it
pulling
down.
one down.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
need to get away from that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining. Those on TikTok, those on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I appreciate if you just share the video as well. Share what you have on TikTok, share what you have on Instagram, and just do some likes. And if I break it down, what just to give different persons views as well. On TikTok, one says the person has to be Jamaican. They say we are critical to UK national infrastructure, has to be God fearing, has to be established in their own right. And this is something I always say all the while. It's very important that persons are established in their own right. Know they are, and let it be publicly known what you're about. Because that is what sometimes messes up people in leadership sometimes, because when they're called out, they get shy because the pressure hit them. But if they go inside there with the knowledge of who they are, whether they are gay, God, or what, it's all this thing. It is when you listen. Parliament in the UK will accept anyone, but it's when you lie. It is when you lie. You know what I mean? Whether you're whatever, it is when you lie. They don't like deception. That's the most important. They don't like deception. They don't like liars. And I think it is very right that people come out, whether you're a Christian, come out, whether whatever you are, be who you are, and let the chips fall. And rightly, as you say, because I was been talking to Mr. Morrison, and we're talking about wills. And I did a show on wills the other day and realized that a lot of people do not have wills in the UK. Lots of black people do not have wills. And when you have a person, for argument's sake, who, or in the country and Western movies, when they have gold and they have silver and they have oil, they'll have a land, but it takes someone to dig. It takes someone to dig and to find the wealth, and therefore you got persons who are going to actually find wealth which already exists in our people, in black people as well, because during the Windrush era, they had no choice at that time but to band together, but to work together. And now I believe there's wealth which exists that many black people are not aware of, which is for them. And that is why you got different persons who are talking about they've got to band together. People have to do their wills because they're going to give it to Rishi Sunak and the King Charles, if anything like that. And so therefore it goes back again, Gary, to economics. Economics. Because you can get how much you can get so much as far as I'm concerned, all these MBs and all these OBs, all it's gonna do is silence you. It will only give you a voice. You will only have a voice when you have economic wealth and clout. Even if
You
you're a
see,
prime minister,
again,
what? Yeah,
still,
yeah,
I don't think there is a nation on earth, and I'm going to be very biased here. I don't think there's ever a set of people on earth that is as intellectual in any area of society, economics, science, whatever it is, that that is not in the black community.
yes,
There is a degree of intellectualism that is amongst us that, if it is tapped properly,
yes,
I believe that we would be a force to be reckoned with.
yes,
But you see, they know. So these people know exactly what to do in order to bring
yeah.
confusion amongst us.
There's something which is missing, and on Instagram, it is said, why do black MPs not seeking reparations? And that's a powerful point. Can you imagine if all the black MPs, Labour, Conservative, there's none in Lib Dem, come together and actually say, let's form a caucus for reparations? Up to this day, you do not have a government. I think the closest we are talking is Netherlands or Dutch or whatever like that, who have apologized. You know, I've always said all the while that I will not sit back and wait for reparation. But at the same time, I believe that it should be argued for something of that nature, whereby the injustice which was done to the black people, transatlantic issue, need to be addressed. It need to be apologies. Someone is saying no reparations. I don't understand that. No reparations. He said we have had the healthcare, education, national security, social care. That no makes sense because the same white people have it as well. I don't understand where that come from. The person said no. I'm calling you out, Virgin Ron Borland, because you're saying no reparations. I don't know if you're white or black, but you're saying no reparations. But I have to disagree because what you have said to justify it is that we have had free health care, education, national security, social care, child care, and a load of other benefits. Well, let me tell you this: all white people got that. All Asians got that. So that no make sense. I'm just saying that, that no make no sense, Virgin. I take you on panel on the right way. How can you say that? How can you say that? It's like you're just trying to justify slavery. You're trying to say we have moved on. We have not moved on from anything. Pathetic. That's such an apologist. I hope you're not black. I hope you're white. You know. Yeah, but on a serious note, though, Gary, with all these things here, and you're so right. There need to be some. I mean, fortunately, even with the whole issue regarding the the the, the Jamaica becoming a republic, there's a young lady who has now organized a meeting in Nottingham, Birmingham and London for the diaspora and black people to talk about this whole thing, not just leave it to Jamaica. And I had to commend her for actually wanting to do that, to give us a voice to speak on these different things, even though Jamaicans overseas do not have a voice. But I believe we're in this era where we have got to take control of ourselves and our future, and don't become an apologist, and don't become a MB and OB and try to just. One of the things about black people sometimes is this, guy. What I pick up is that I think we are one of the only race that try to say we are not black. Sometimes, we try to assimilate and be something else while everybody else is sticking to their grounds and be who they were, what they are about. The Asians, they stick together. The whites, they stick together. The Jews, they stick together. Well, black people say, some of them say, we have had free healthcare, we have education, and we don't want reparations. I must be a white man. That sorry, that just peed me off, Garry. Still,
No,
sorry,
I think what you see, what we've got to understand, I think what we've got to look at and understand, Sil, is that
Yeah.
amongst the amongst the West Indians, how did the West Indians get to be West Indians? They were taken out of their homeland and shipped out to another place where they did not know, correct?
Yeah.
Right? Now, the Indians, if you look at the Indians, only a few, very few was taken out of India and sent, let's say, to certain parts of the East Indies or even Trinidad and Tobago, even though there's a large community of Indians in that particular island, let us say, yeah. But there was a large amount of the black people that was shipped out of Africa to the West Indies. Now the Indians weren't. The white people, white man wasn't. So when it comes to reparation for the white man or for the Indians, the Asians, yes, they don't know what reparations should be or is because they didn't go anywhere.
Yes.
They weren't taken out of they weren't taken out of their homelands, out of their environments to go anywhere.
Forcefully.
Yeah. They stayed where they were. So there should be a degree of payment to some extent. How much that should be, I'm not an expert on it. I mean, I'm not an expert on this at all. So probably for a few, I shouldn't say anything at all because I may not know what I'm talking about. But I believe that the little that I know is that if anything happens, even here and now, under this law or in the United States or wherever, there is a part of the law where it gives a certain amount of dispensation for people to receive some kind of payment for something that was taken from them and from them unlawfully. So why cannot the black man in the United Kingdom, of it, that is of a West Indian parentage, so to speak, why can't even in Jamaica or in the Bahamas or in whatever West Indian island, why cannot they apply to the British government as they are the ones that started the thing? They should be able to apply for some degree of payment for taking them out of their homeland and putting them in a place that was not theirs.
Someone said the other day, when that submarine went down and the 5 persons died, someone said, "You're not go- which people you will not find at the bottom of the sea? Black people." And then because black people don't do those things, and somebody corrected him and said, "Actually, black people are down there. They were actually thrown off.
Yeah.
They were thrown off the boats because they were trying to make space or something like that on the bad ones, and they raped them and they throw them off the. And that is why I'm so annoyed by what this person said. Ron Borland, I hear what you're saying, and you're saying all these different things, but brethren, I cannot accept what you're saying totally. That is so apologetic. You say you're East Indian or something like that, and you're trying to use all these justifications, but that don't make no sense, brethren, with all those intellectual things you're saying. Reparation is very important. Apology is very important. Do not try to justify it, please. If you're a black man, maybe you're not from the transatlantic slavery movement. Maybe you didn't come to the Caribbean, or you're for. And you know, Garrett, this is something else we need to talk about. Because Africans, in a way, and many of them did not come through the transatlantic movements. You and I, we came through that movement there because our foreparents, we came to Jamaica. A lot of East Africans and Africans or so didn't do that. So they don't understand that. And that is why this person here is saying no reparation. He keeps saying no reparations. It is such offensive. I find it so offensive there. I shouldn't block him. I think that's so offensive for a black person to say no reparations, or you don't want anything back. You're just sort of accepting what has happened years ago, just accepting it. It's offensive. That's so offensive. But anyway, every man have mouth, and man for talk. But anyway, I want to go on quickly, Gary, to something else that came out, and which was Boris Johnson. You know about those tweets? Yeah.
Yeah.
Those tweets, they said that Boris Johnson COVID WhatsApp will be handed over to the inquiry, and that is very interesting. I think Boris was saying let it go over there, but I think Rishi Sunak and all these guys, government loses control over Boris Johnson COVID WhatsApp. The government has lost its legal challenge to prevent the COVID inquiry from seeing Boris Johnson WhatsApp diaries and notebooks in full. Cabinet officers argued it should not have to hand over irrelevant material, but inquiry chair Barnes Ellis said it should be up to her to decide what is relevant. The government has accepted the ruling. Okay, it will work towards handing over the material requested by next week down the street. I think the word inquiry is very good, because it will set the stage whereby if something like this happened, we got a good map and we can see where things went wrong and things went right. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, to me, I think they've spent too much time on this already. I think they've spent too much time. They've spent a lot of money on this. Sorry,
Gary. One second. Rowan, I'm not going to Google a Mosa Mansa. You understand? You come on the show and tell us what you're talking about. And someone that mentioned reparations, fine, but how will this be disseminated? That's something that needs to be discussed. Gary. Yeah. No, it annoys me. It just annoys me when somebody's trying to justify slavery and say we got reparation by saying we got free this, we got free that, as if to say it's only black people got that. Everybody got that. It's not as if to say all black people, you're gonna get this, you're gonna get that. It's so annoying. Oh, good, drive me crazy.
to justify slavery is wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, on its own, just to justify slavery, should never be.
Yeah,
it should never have happened in the first place. Anyway, it should never have happened. But I don't. But
Gary, can I tell you this? If people start to dare say things like this about the Holocaust, they'll take them down. Only black people.
Of course.
If you start to talk about questions about the Holocaust, it didn't take place, or the people they don't need anything because of that, and Germany's still paying them.
I mean, the thing about it, Sil, is that what I don't understand this. I don't understand. But anyway, probably I don't want to really broaden it out too much.
Yeah.
Because anything to do with black people, they will rubbish it. They will either rubbish it or make us look as if we
have chip on our shoulder.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anything else other than anything to do with the black community they will take you to task about it.
And the
They will,
weakness in and the weakness we have and the jinx in it is like a chain is as strong as its weakest link. Is our own black people that will undermine us, like this gentleman named Ruan Borland Davis, who is saying no reparation and trying to justify that we have gotten everything that we want because we get these freeness. As I'm saying at Jamaica, fire burn upon that. That's a problem. Our own people will mess us up at the same time, undermine us and undermine, and then the white people look down and say, there they are, they can't even agree together and fighting against each other. Sell out.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is a major problem with us.
Yeah.
Because we undermine each other. And we do not support. I mean, okay, it's like this, Syl.
Yeah.
Again, even though you want to go into you might have
No,
to
I think we're gonna leave that. I think we leave that because I keep trying to go into it and I keep going back to this whole thing because it is so important. Yes. I'm not even going to go into the thread with Twitter and all those things. Everybody's talking about Twitter. I said, listen, I'm not going to go into that because I need to tread my needle. I'm trying to tread my needle and I'm talking about threads.
I don't know. I think it's like the Indian community. You must give it to them for supporting each other. You have to give it to them. Because they spread themselves across the political divide. When they're doing business, they work together. They support one another. Even though they may have their differences, and it may be very, very, very hot amongst them. You know, but they don't. Some of them do not wash their dirty linen in public. They support one another. For us, we don't do that. We don't support one another, even across the political divide. Yes. For instance, you have shown activity and a fervor to join the Conservative Party. Right?
Yes.
You will not find the majority of the Black community voting for you. If you were if you were a member of the Labour Party, everybody will go for you. Right?
Can I tell you this? I know a lady who stood for a Labour office, and she was in as a paper candidate, and she won. And she's now a cabinet member within a particular council. And that's a point which you just sort of highlighted there. But nevertheless, she still have attributes, but I just wanted to flag that up. You're saying, Garry,
and I mean, whatever the Indians want, wherever they are in the country, they get it. Why? Because they spread themselves, they put themselves in every political party that is out there. They may not agree, even though they may not say it, they may not agree with the political party, but they're in there. They get themselves into the councils. They get the council seats so that their people, the voices of their people will be heard. What do we do? We sit back, we relax, we are so laid back, we are lying down. You know, we are not putting ourselves out there. If Graham or if Sydial is not running for the Labour Party, then we are not going to get the support. We won't get the votes. You've got to run for Labour. We need the Black community to get out there, put themselves in the Labour, put themselves in the Conservative, put themselves in the Liberal Democrats. Get out there, get involved. Because it is only when we are in the council, council chambers,
and to be very and to be very strategic, at the same time. Yes,
we need to, because I don't want to go down that road, where sometimes the Black persons or individuals that do get into political seats, sometimes they're just there for themselves. Sad to say, but it happens.
I guess what can come out of tonight, and we don't have to talk about StreamYard. Sorry, not StreamYard. Treadmills or whatever like that with Twitter and all of those things where everybody's jumping upon. I think the very important thing we got to do is empower ourselves in an economic way and to really work together as much as possible, and um, and to see how, because even though I'm an advocate of reparation, but I'm not the one who is going to sit back and wait on reparations to make me, if anything, better or so. We got to realize that what we have is something which is powerful, which is being built inside of us. And as you said, the affluence of us is there, that we can do it and we can be the best that we can. But as you said, the very important thing now for black people at this time, at this junction, is to strategically position ourselves in different places and to be at the table. And if the table is not there, we make the table. And people always say if the door is not there, you make the door. But the Asians, that's what they do. They're in the conservative, they're in the labor. Remember one time, yeah, Sajid Javid was almost deputy prime minister and was health secretary. You have what's his name? Sadiq Khan, top guy. You got the guy in Scotland as well. I'm thinking to myself, hang on a second. These guys are in position because their their groupings or their imams or whatever like that come and say, okay, let's forget about politics and about PNP or not. I mean, I was saying PNP and jail. Forget about co- um conservative and
Conservative.
labor. What you need to focus on is that we need to get into these positions. So everybody, one vote for this guy here at this time for Sadiq Khan. Everybody, one vote for um Sajid Javid or something like that. Everybody, go and vote for that guy in Scotland there. We have got to get ourselves in position. And I believe that is the message which they are saying. Unfortunately for us, black people, we don't see that. We get so emotional and we don't see the bigger picture. Yeah.
But
We
that
need
is
to,
true.
we need to,
I
yeah.
believe that. And Sylbourne, it's not that we don't have young men and young women like those who you have mentioned. We've
Mm,
got brilliant, tacticians. We've got brilliant financiers.
yeah.
We've got brilliant scientists in our communities. And the brilliance, it just does not shine through. It's
Yeah.
not coming through. And I really believe that the society in which we are in is not suited
Yeah.
for us to shine through. It's not
Yes.
there. But
Yes.
but we have them in our community. We
we got
have
we,
them
we,
in
we,
our
we got we,
community.
we got to create it, and we've got to get um very you know somebody just said a while ago, I got emotional just now, but I said if you don't have emotions and passion, you won't invoke something in people to actually drive and to make a difference. If you want to be pure and dead and just writing affluent and intellectual stuff, you'll die with your intellect. You got to live for something. Jesus Christ was emotional. Martin Luther King was emotional. Malcolm X was emotional. Everybody have emotion. Emotion is a part of us. Anybody that say, when I say emotional, sometimes what I'm trying to say is that, not to get too sentimental. Maybe the best word is sentimental. Get emotional, get passionate, get fiery. All of these are attributes of life. So, yes, I will get emotional. And I'm going to say to you again, Robert, I think you're a sellout. Ruan, you're a sellout to say that we don't need reparation. You're a sellout as a black man, according to what you said. Sellout. Yes, yes, I am emotional now. Any black man that says that we don't need reparations and that we have got everything from free education and all those sort of things, you are a sellout. Boom. I'm emotional.
Well, Sylbourne,
Yeah.
listen.
Mm.
The 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 society which we are a part of today is not the same society which
Yeah.
existed 40, 50, 60 years back.
Yes.
The society that our children and grandchildren that are being born into is not the English system
Yes.
which was back then. We are having that. We are losing a lot of the benefits that was there before. It's not the same, and it's going to. It's even harder for our black boys or for our black girls, for the black community. It's going to be made harder for them to access certain things that we found it very easy to have, because education is not as free or cheap as it used to be.
Yes. I don't know where
You know,
you get free education from. Yeah.
the healthcare is not even as good as it used to be
Yes.
either. Because when one wants to see the doctor, you know, you can't even see the doctor straight away. You have to call and then wait a couple of hours, if not a whole day, and then probably you have to call the next day because you lose the spot, you know.
Yeah.
And then people are suffering and even dying because of a lack of organization
Yes.
and upheaval within the NHS.
Yes.
So things are being made much harder, and the black community needs to come together. We need to be more united, not only in word, but we need to be doing it in deed. We've got to be. We are a force. If the black community, there was something a few years back
Yes.
that I'm sure that was referred to about the black pound. If the black community should withhold spending in the communities where we are at, do you know how effective that would be? Because there's a lot of Asian shops out there that is supplying the black community, but we keep them going because we're not spending it amongst our own.
Yes.
Asda is controlled by Asians.
Asda. Okay.
Asda is controlled by Asians because it's an Asian. Now, I'm not against them. I'm just making a point.
Yes.
That we are the ones that's fueling and giving the other cultural
other groups,
communities power to do what they want to do over us. Whereas if we would only come together and unite, do you know what we could do within the community and where we live? But we fail, and we have failed to capitalize on the opportunities that has been always in our hands or before us. But we failed. I'm not saying it's not too late to do it, but it will be that much more harder to get to where we need to get to.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think there's lots of room and lots of discussion. You know, with this sort of topics is it is something which resonates a lot. And if you go on to TikTok and you go on to social media, look into Black Twitter and all those sort of things, these same sort of discussions going on for years. And what is needed to make a difference is strengthening one economic clout, one economic wealth, and also make sure people do their wills, and also making sure at the same time that leadership within the community comes forth. And the leadership should be one which is not sentimental. I think that's the best word. Not sentimental, but emotional, but passionate. You know, and I think that is something which is rife at this time, because if we don't do that, you're going to see the next generation talking about the same thing like what we did now, and we can't afford that. So therefore, let's arise and see what difference can be made. You know, Garry, well, thank you so much. It's a good. Thank you guys for coming on, Mr. Ruan and Hashrag and all the different persons, and those on Twitter and those on Facebook as well. I remember to like and share, and to let's have more of this communication and this discussion as well. There's something that someone sent me a while ago from Jamaica, and that was Miss Rosalie Hamilton, and she's involved with the Advocacy Network, and there it is. They're talking about, Garry, you know, the whole debate regarding the competition for the whole debate for the Jamaica to become a republic. There's a competition which is there saying what is it? A jingle, a free secondary school debate competition, and the information which is sent is that the Advocates Network, in collaboration with the Jamaica Association for Debating and Empowerment Jade Limited, is thrilled to announce the successful launch of the Afiri Republic Secondary Schools Debate Competition. The launch event took place on Monday, July the 3rd at the University of Technology, Jamaica, which was formerly CAS. And what this is about is the whole discussion of the same, Jamaica becoming a republic. And as I said earlier, that there's going to be some discussions about having some different forums around the UK, Nottingham, Birmingham, and London as well. And I'll be involved in it in some respect, so we can get our voices out there. Yeah. So that's it there, Garry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good one. All right. So we'll talk, and Saturday night, talk and sip. Lester was saying to me we should have a discussion about the haves and the have not, and I said we have discussed that already regarding the two sides of Jamaica, and I said maybe what we should be discussing is how the have nots can get have. You know what I mean, Garry? Instead of talking about the haves and the have not, that's not going to help anything. I think what should be discussed is how the have nots can get have, how they can become have, how they can have. Am I right, Garry?
You mean, is that for Jamaica or that's for here?
It was Jamaica. It was Jamaica primarily I was talking about. But I think at the same time, it is worth discussing and to look at it that way, because I think, like somebody just said a while ago, they want to have a debate with Garry. And I'm saying, well, we love chat too much, man. We love chat. I love chat sometimes. But I think if we just keep chatting and debating and trying to say, I won, I got that better than you, it is like pompous. It's about full of pride. I want to say, I'm the more intellectual one. I know more. That doesn't help anything these days, Garry.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And I think
it's fine.
I think that in and of itself, that is what helps to destroy us. Yes. Because we debate and we fuss, and then that could even lead to arguments, and we know that don't argument and then end up in fight, and it doesn't achieve anything. It achieves nothing, really.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you for joining, and have a good one, and peace out, and we'll see you next Thursday, same time, and also Saturday night, and talk and sip. Peace out. Boom.